That's
You
right.
ready to
Yeah.
rock it?
Ready to piss off some liberals, I guess.
Well, I think you really did because I've been checking our views on YouTube and thank you very much. But the last time I checked this morning, we were at 1,500 views. That's damn good.
That's really good. That's really good. And yeah, I think, it was obviously all the work that you do. I know you share it, and we have a lot of loyal listeners. Thank you guys so much for that. Share the podcast. It really helps a lot.
Subscribe also.
Subscribe. With also upload clips to Instagram and Facebook, and one of my most recent clips from the Mother's Day show was where I talked about the most recent study that happened in New Mexico, where it looks like the Democrat Party is going to be done. If we get voter ID, they're a done deal. Yeah, we should be a red state right now, and I think that really pissed off a lot of people.
You got a lot of traction on that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's about 40,000 views now on that one reel.
And that is that your Instagram or combined or
It's a combined with the Instagram and Facebook.
dang. Is that your highest?
No, I've got one a little higher with Yvette Harrell. And President Trump was talking about how our elections are rigged. He said it to the representative that was there in D.C. And he said, "Hey, your elections are rigged." He's calling out New Mexico. I love that clip because he's trying to help New Mexico. That's the first
Yes.
president ever, I think, that's just gone out of his way to like, hey, New Mexico needs help. I love that, and I think everyone else does too. That video has about 103,000 views,
Wow.
and that's getting closer to the most popular one I have, which is the Josh Hawley grilling. Deb Holland's an easy target. That's got a lot of views too. So either way, we appreciate you guys' support. It really helps us significantly. The more you guys share this and like this stuff, and the more views that we get, the more we can invest into it. Because honestly, it's been a hard investment the whole time
You
up to
know,
this point.
I'm glad you mentioned that too because people, are, making money. No, we haven't made a dime off this thing. This is strictly us. We do it because we care about our community, we care about our state, we care about our country, and that's fine.
Right.
But our purpose is to get this information out and share it. I just saw, I think it was Higby, and I probably have the wrong show, but a gentleman was saying he was very worried. He was a Democrat. He was very worried about getting primaried because his observation was if you do not, if you're not hostile enough to the right, particularly our president, they really don't want to help you. The party, the Democrat Party, doesn't really want to help you. Basically, that's what he said.
Right.
Uh, so,
That's true.
and what are you going to do? And that's the thing. They need the support. It takes a lot of money, especially congressional campaigns. They're not $5 campaigns. They take a lot of money to run. So I am very excited about what's going to happen. I almost can't wait until election day. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but I still haven't decided on my gubernatorial or my sheriff candidate for the primary. However, um, there's opportunities. I see that there was did you go to the sheriff forum that they just held recently?
No, I did not.
I didn't either, and I'm trying to find out if it's recorded because that's the thing. Okay, if you miss them, because you can't make everything, it's too hard.
Yeah, it's too hard.
But if you can go back, and we'll try to keep you posted. I'll repost them either on Facebook or on the CCIA site too.
Right.
That way, you can at least watch it and discern it and use your own discernment and make up your own mind because your vote's important and get out there and do it.
Yes, your vote is very important. And, again, go back to the show. It's like we don't do this, for money. We never got into this. We want to do it for the community. Now, of course, if things progress, we will invest more into it so we can get a further reach. But we take a lot of risk saying the stuff that we say, doing the things that we do. I mean, it's just a matter of time before the deep state comes after my ass. And I've just been going real hard against them lately.
Well, Zeke, did you read the YouTube comments? And thank you for people on the other side of us, because evidently they watched a lot of our shows as well, and there were some pretty harsh comments. Did you get to read
There
any of
was.
them?
I read a little bit of them. I took a page out of Joe Rogan's book, and I don't read YouTube comments. I've told that to Alice since I first met her. I
You
know
don't respond.
she likes to read them. I mean, I'll respond to the positive ones, but all the negative ones, I don't get into them. I don't respond to them. I glanced over a few of them. Yeah, super negative.
Zeke, it's a talk radio thing with me. We had a new head of our department come, and he was a Republican. Okay, he's a Republican.
Okay.
And so when he started, I used to help produce a morning drive show, which is now this is back in the '90s, At that time, we're still getting used to having these little shows where you have little tidbits, you have experts come on with news of the days. So someone right away, I don't know if they wrote him a letter or they left him a voicemail and they were criticizing him. So I told him, I said, you know what? He was the program director. As you've arrived. If they're criticizing you, you've gotten into their head and they care enough that they're paying attention to you. So, you can say everything that you want. That's fine. And if you want to back it up, a lot of times our own people will just like on Facebook and everything else, they'll come back after them with their own argument or ask questions. So, I think we had, I don't know, 35 comments, whatever, but I like to kind of scan them. And there's some good ones too. And thank you for those. We appreciate the support. And we've got some new subscribers as well. But we can't say thank you enough to the chipsters out there. And this is such an important election year. That's why we've been trying to do this. I think we're getting back on a roll to do it every week.
Yeah, trying to. I have I'm very busy this time of the year. I'm very, very busy. This is hardcore political season right now. I really don't have a personal life, but I do what I can to get in here and do the show with Alice. Right now we're at a weekly pace. We'll try to keep it up, but go back to the deep state coming after me.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
We say a lot of pretty truthful things here, which doesn't always bode well. And the surprising thing, the most recent thing, is that I was no surprise, full transparency. Yes, the show itself, Chips and Salsa and Alice, that we don't want to pick any candidates for the show. I myself personally,
You
Zico
don't
Rodriguez,
endorse candidates.
and I'm not even really endorsing him.
No,
I
but
I had posted a clip for Duke Rodriguez, and I enjoy the fact that he's very pro-life. I really do. And that
but let
clip,
me interject too. He's never made a secret of it. We know that he
no.
supports Duke Rodriguez, and that's fine as an individual. That's what he does. Just like in this organization, they don't endorse candidates at all. But if you personally are for someone, well, that's
Hey, more
again.
power to you. You can, comment on the show. You can send me an email or a text, and if you want to talk about the debate, I would invite you on the show. But most people aren't ready for a podcast. But look, all the candidates are pretty good, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Duke, he's super pro life. He throws the word abortion around like it's nobody's business, and I have so much respect for that because we're pro life, and the kind of financial freedom and spiritual freedom that you've got to have to just even talk about these issues on social media is, I got to tell you guys, it's pretty hardcore. So for him to say that, I thought that was a big deal, and then it just goes back to Alice, who's very pro life too. Um, you can say it on social media now. They're not censoring it as much as they were at
I
all as
know
they
I'd
used
get in
to.
trouble with him because I use the A word,
I used
and
to
it wasn't Alice.
I would get so infuriated at her for saying that word, but once that video got posted with Duke and that one's passing 10,000 views now at this point. But it's very people are very pro life here, and I think it's a counterbalance to how far left we've gone on that issue. The same day abortions. People don't like that. They've done this. The polls, nobody likes that. At the very least, and I don't know what the new polls are. I think the new polls are people are going more conservative with this. It's up to 15 weeks. And so the main thing is we just don't want the government paying for it. There's a lot of things that we need to do to start regulating it and getting it more in tune with what the people want, because the way it is now is not what the people want. They just ram that down our throat. So just to tell Alice, thank you for being so vocal about that issue. I am as well. And it motivated me to keep pushing hard on it. And it motivates me to keep going on this show to get this message out there, because this is a very powerful message that we're trying to share with you all here. And we are risking a lot. And again, got a lot of haters out there. Right? Not necessarily hate. They're triggered libtards. They're
They're
triggered.
not, they don't agree with us.
They don't agree with us, but I'm glad they're listening, because what
That's
I was
fine.
telling Alice is like I
Yeah.
think if they listen, they can find there's a lot of common ground here. We want safer schools, safer streets. We want a better economy. There's so many things that we have in common. If you just listen to the show, you'll see that.
And it's more valuable. It's like preaching to the choir. And we love you guys. Thank you very much. And a lot of times, even the choir doesn't always agree with you either. But that's where you get more out of it, because we feel like, I think we really strive to bring you information that you may not be getting. And it's hard because there's so much going on and it's hard to stay informed. So I appreciate if anybody from the other side wants to listen or challenge us. That's wonderful. I think that's great because we've been on the path, my talk radio days. We'd always invite people to come on from the other side. Now sometimes they refuse to do it. So we've gotten away from that. We should be able to sit down as decent human beings and have a debate and have a difference of opinion and talk it out. We still may not agree at the end of the conversation, but that's okay.
Right. And then to go back to the gubernatorial thing, I know we've offended some people with my, position on Duke, and hey, whatever, we try to stay as neutral as we can. I have my own perspective, and I've worked very hard to have the platform to actually have a voice. So I will voice my opinion, and I will be transparent about it. You guys want to come up here, and we haven't even invited any of the gubernatorials on the show.
We haven't had any uh, guests really. Maybe hopefully after the primary we can get that done.
But we can go one by all, the positives of all the candidates. There's been a lot of mudslinging going around, and I've been part of that too. So I feel like at the very least I can do is be transparent with you with why I'm supporting him and my issues with the other candidates. And I know it's a little unorthodox, but that's because we're not doing this show to get paid or to get views or to become social media. We're doing this because we believe in our community. We want to help our community. That's the reason why it's not we're not pandering to any Democrat people or other to all these other candidates because we want to get the views. No, we're doing it because this is for me. This is what I think is best for the community. Now you can. I don't want to be agreeing with everybody. That's so unhealthy. I like it when people disagree with me, and I like having these types of
Well, and you're a
discussions.
very good debater. I first noticed that when I first moved out here, you were running for office and he was in a forum. And not everybody can handle people disagreeing with them or hard
I can
questions.
handle it.
And, but, well, just about ready to compliment you on that. But he could, when I saw him up there, and even it was a very detailed question. I don't know if you remember, it was when you were running against Ferrari. And of course, somebody only probably someone who had been in politics and in that office for a while would know. And instead of trying to BS your way through it, I was really impressed because you said, well, on that particular, and I'm not going to say it as good as you did, as well as you did, but on that particular topic, I'm going to do some research. I'm not equipped to answer that question correctly. I don't have the knowledge on it. And at least you were honest and you go back and do that. But see, not everybody has the stones to do it. They've got to try to, well, and BS their way through it. No, sometimes you just don't know the answer.
Oh, it was a gotcha question. It was just some asinine question that was like ultra detailed with the school board. Like you'd have to have been a school board member essentially to even understand, the ramifications of that question. And I knew what they were trying to do. I know that particular organization was very hostile towards conservatives and Republicans. So they tried to set me up with a gotcha question, and I think I extinguished that fire. I was like, hey, you know what? I will do research and I will get back to you. But they didn't care. They didn't reach back
No,
out
they
to me.
really didn't.
No,
They really didn't care.
they're trying to embarrass me, and it
Yeah,
didn't work.
absolutely. But yes, that the pro-life question, okay, and I can respect Duke Rodriguez because he did a very good job in that. He is unashamedly pro-life, and that's a tough question because I think that a lot of candidates are afraid to. They still want to kind of appeal to the left, but you have to speak from your heart. And at least, and my whole thing, and this is to all candidates, in New Mexico, there are no limits. There are absolutely no limits. And there should be at least some guidelines, and we need to go back forth and restructure that. And that's what I'm looking to address.
Yeah, it's crazy to me the whole no limits thing, and then I still get people arguing with me, but they're losing the debate on social media. And people were that video was posted where Duke was espousing to his pro life inclinations, but um, tell me you've had an abortion without telling me you had an abortion. These people, these women on here go on there and they start arguing about, oh well, there's others other things like incest and all that stuff. Grape, I'll censor that one. But it's like, look, that's a very small percentage of the procedures that are being done. Okay, and then we're not talking, and we talk about this all the time. I feel like we're beating a dead horse here. They just don't talk about the risks of the sterilization, of the PTSD, of the life threatening risks. A lot of women come out of there and they die because the procedure was botched. And so we just want these women to be fully knowledgeable of the risks, and then also we need to be more forthcoming with the public about how many of these procedures are actually, the
Well,
grape.
remember the law that went through, they didn't want us to be informed of how many abortions occurred.
I don't remember
And
that. What do you
yeah,
mean?
the left, the Democrats, I think it became a law at the legislature there, or they were after it because they don't want you to have that information. And like we talk about all the time. Anytime you go into any type of medical procedure, you want to know what's going to happen to you, and that information needs to be there. It really does.
Yeah, and so for me personally, I'm okay with incest to save the mother's life. This is a very small percentage of procedures go into that. I'm okay with that personally. I know a lot of people who are conservative aren't even cool with that. So that's just it is what it is. We don't want to be the international medical tourist capital of the world in New Mexico anymore. I'm sure that we'll still be able to offer those services to the women who need it in those certain situations. But the way it is right now, with the Satanic Temple subsidizing the pills and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's madness. It doesn't need to be so into it. They're into it.
It's
You know what I
very
mean?
extreme. It really is. I do have a quick update. So, as you know, the Southwest Coalition, and I'm a person, I'm super pro-life, but at least you're entertaining some exceptions. In New Mexico, there are no exceptions. So there are some businesses, I think the update was there are about 8 letters, and we send out a letter asking them, please, if you're a company that's helping to build the UNM site, which is going to be not only a reproductive health center, but also transgender and things like that. And so we're asking them, not to participate. And successfully, 2 companies have withdrawn. So there's an update. I've got a list. I'm not going to mention the list. If you really want it, call me or go to the Southwest Coalition. Um, but at least we're doing something about it, and it is effective. And the solution, what the Southwest Coalition actually wants to do, is if you're going to build it, make it a true women's reproductive health center. Yes, help women, but instead of destroying life and changing body parts on younger people, let's really make it what you want to call it. Is that fair? Did I explain that fair?
Yeah, to the most part, for those who don't know, that they're building a huge facility out here in Las Cruces, that's going to be able to like take in all these international medical tourists for those types of procedures. The boarding kids and
Surgical abortions.
I don't think it's going to go down. I think that whole agenda was quashed by President Trump. All the funding was lost, and I think their last savior would be get a super far left governor, which would be, if Deb Haaland gets in there, for sure it's going to get completed.
Right.
If Deb Haaland doesn't, it won't be finished.
And reminder that our current governor, Lujan Grisham, 10 million of the tax dollars she appropriated for that. You didn't get a say on that. I don't even know that the legislature voted on it. I think she just threw 10 million bucks at him. So we've been doing this for a long time.
And that's what they do. They just spend our tax dollars without our authority. We've had taxation without representation for quite a while here in New Mexico.
Absolutely. But just please continue to pray for the children waiting to be born and pray for their mamas too. I mean, really, we get accused of not wanting to help, but that's really not true. There are a lot of resources. Southwest Coalition has done a good job, and we hope that you will decide if you're thinking about having that procedure. We hope that you'll decide to keep the baby and want to help you with that. Okay, well, we talked enough about this.
Yeah, hey, we beat that with a dead horse. I'm gonna have to go back in there and censor a couple of words, but I'll do that. It's no
You
problem.
actually said the A word.
I did, but that's not even the word I got to censor anymore. I got to censor the grape word. Grape word.
Oh, that's right.
That one's for sure. We got to watch it with that word. So, anywho, let's change subjects here. So, what I'm drinking right here, guys, is I love clean water. Clean water is a big deal. You don't want to be drinking fluoride. Do everything you can to avoid tap water. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. It lowers your IQ. So I drink clean water, and what I got in here is about 10 grams of creatine as well, which is very good for your neurocognitive functioning and just overall health. And then I also have methylene blue in here.
That's why it's blue.
That's why it's
We're just
blue.
going to ask why it's blue. It's not
Ver-
toilet water.
It's not toilet water. It's very good for methylation. It's good for brain cell regeneration. And then I also have a bunch of electrolytes. I think a lot of people are electrolyte deficient. I am. I work out really hard. I train daily. I run about 4 to 6 miles a day, and I go to the gym. So I've got to drink quite a bit of electrolytes. So just throw it out there, daily reminder to drink plenty of water, drink clean water, drink your electrolytes, and try out creatine. If you guys haven't tried getting up to 20 grams of creatine a day, I highly recommend it. It's been life changing for me. You sleep better, you feel better, you look better, you think better. And methylene blue, same thing. Fantastic for your health.
So Zeke, did you put that concoction together
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah. I bought the bottle of water, and then I put all my stuff in there, and I drink about 2 of these a day.
So you geared it for you.
Yeah, this is for me. But if I was Elon Musk and I had endless amounts of capital, I would make a drink that would be just this right here.
Oh,
So I'm just sharing it with you guys. I'm not trying to make money or sell you anything, but this has been life changing for me. Just drinking 2 of these a day. The way I think, the way I feel, the way I sleep is significantly been increased.
and do you drink them at any special time of the day?
Just throughout the day. First thing in the morning, I'll have this, and then I'll have another one. I don't drink creatine past like 3 or 4 because it kind of keeps you up. But I drink quite a bit of creatine. 20 grams a day is kind of a lot. So this is my 10 grams in this one. I'll drink another one of these with another 10 grams, and then there's my 20 grams for the day. Plenty of electrolytes, and the methylene blue. I'd gobble that stuff. RFK Jr. is a big fan of it too. It's an amazing thing for brain health. Brain longevity, health longevity. It's super good for you. And so I highly recommend all this stuff just for your overall well-being. I don't care if you don't like what we're saying or not. I think if you're a human being, I care about you. I know if you're a human being, I care about you, and I want you to live a better, more quality life. And that's just this is free G Wiz information there. Anyway,
And you know what? It's really important. Health is so important. And, I'm older than you, and
no, you're
it
not.
can be, as you know, I am very much. I could be your mother. And as you get older, your body does change. It really does. You have to pay more attention to it. And for some people, it becomes a full-time job. So it is
That's right.
important to start paying attention, plus just to have the clear headedness. Because if your body is healthy, your brain will work better, like you say, and you can notice it. And it's so easy, especially, we're getting ready, like I said, we're going to have our 50th high school reunion. Las Cruces High School Bulldogs, go! And you have to really pay attention. And it's worth it because you don't know how long you're going to live. And don't you want to live as healthy a life as possible and be able to engage? God wants you to live a healthy life and be healthy.
Yeah, it's a God thing. And then there's obviously a depopulation agenda going on in the world right now. There's toxins in our food. RFK is finally getting rid of all the dyes, the stuff they're spraying in the skies. What we went through with the initial lockdowns, all the Jabaruskis, that's not good at all. This new hantavirus they're trying to roll out. I mean, every which way you think about it, they're trying to dumb us down and get rid of us. Operation Artichoke, all that stuff came out. And so I tell you guys this with a heavy heart because I know a lot of people who have fallen victim to one of these modalities that have been very toxic for human beings, but they're sold as good for you, like chemotherapy. They've got cures for cancer. It's been out for a while now. They just won't release it because it's such a profitable, lucrative business. That, and yeah, I just want to bring awareness to that, and I do care about people, and I do want the best for humanity. We may not agree on certain things, but at the end of the day, I love you. Okay.
No, and just, one thing too, try something natural. It's not going to hurt your body. So a lot of times, I talk to people and they have complaints, and I was fortunate, and I still actually use them. I have a naturopathic in Phoenix, and they were very good about, let's try this natural thing first. And if it doesn't work, well, then maybe we do have to go to an actual medication. But if it can't hurt you, try it. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
quiet
Anyway,
now. But thank you
exit
very
health,
much.
exit wellness.
There's so much to talk about, and these are important things. They really, really are.
Yep.
You know what? Since we're kind of on this, would you mind? Let's talk a little bit about this. Have you heard about the Cristo Rey eminent domain deal?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so you know what Cristo Rey is up here about the border of Juarez?
No.
The big statue?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So evidently, the federal government, they want to use some land close to there. I think it's about a half mile away because for border protection, okay? And okay, here's what I wrote. Federal government is suing the Las Cruces Diocese and Doña Ana County because I believe the diocese, and I'm probably going to get in trouble as a Catholic, but the diocese saying, no, that's going to interfere with spiritual, because they do, I've never done it, maybe you have, but there used to be every year, they would do an actual hike up there to the statue. It's more than a statue, but anyways, do that. Now, the government is saying, no, we're not interfering. It's a half mile away. It's not going to happen. So I haven't followed. I don't know where it is now. I just saw the story appear. But I think it's really interesting. I'm Catholic, and that's a big deal. It's really cool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've ever drive along I-10 and you're coming New Mexico into El Paso, Texas, you can't help but see it. You can't miss it. So I'm going to follow the story. I think it seems like, half miles away, that's a half a mile is not too bad. I don't think the government would want to screw with this if they didn't have to. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I just know right there is like a wide opening for the border. I mean, they just
Thank
pull
you.
down the stupid little barbed wire and they jump right over. You know what I mean? And I've seen videos of that over there. I think they've gotten better with it. The most recent videos I saw Nino Rodriguez. Shout out to you on YouTube. Great guy. I'm
He's awesome, Nino.
big fan of him. Big fan of him. But he was there and he was showing how easy these people just walk over it. But then he went back recently and showed that there's like troops there now. So it's not so.
That's fine, and that protects the people that want to go there too, with good intentions.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah, so pretty controversial area. It's been like that for quite a while. It's good food. Sunland Park's right there. Good food in that area.
Yeah.
Casinos right there. So I imagine that they do need it. The federal government does need it. And that's President Trump right now. So if President Trump wants it, there's got to be some middle ground there. Let them keep the statue, or
Well, they are. They're not going to. It's not going to affect the statue. It stays up there.
like, then that to
It's
me
up on a
is
big giant hill. Yeah.
The Catholic Church. I love the Catholic Church. I'm a Catholic. I do a lot of work with the Catholic Church, but there's aspects of it, just like any other institution, that I don't agree with at all. And during the lockdowns, they were taking in a lot of illegals, and they were their stopping point, before they shipped them out to wherever they needed to go around the country. And so I feel like this could be a part of that. They're trying to
Well,
encourage the illegal immigration there a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
it's
know enough about it.
possible.
But I'm very skeptical of bureaucracies. I'll tell you that. I always think ominous things.
And that's why I brought it up too, because, and I don't have enough information. I just happened to see the story on the news the other day, and I thought, well, I'm going to bring it up because we can follow it. I'm going to try to follow it and see what happens. It may already have been, taken care of, and forgive me if I'm not updated on it. But we are recording this on Tuesday, the 19th. So just to kind of keep you posted on that. So like we're on New Mexico, I want to let you know that Friday, okay, this Friday, at our Doña Ana County Federation of Republican Women, we are going to have Duke Rodriguez will be there speaking, as well as Doug Turner. So we're going to have two gubernatorial candidates, and they'll get up there and talk. So if you're in the area and you're a Republican, contact me or DACFRW. Are you going to be there
That's this Friday.
this Friday? Yeah.
You got two
You're on
gubernatorials
two
gonna be there.
times. Duke Rodriguez and Doug Turner
Wow, that's pretty
will be
intense.
speaking. Yeah.
I
And
probably
also,
shouldn't go.
I did mention U.S. Congressional Representative candidate Greg Cunningham is going to be there too.
Oh, wonderful.
It's going to be a full slate. I guess I can go ahead and mention too while we're announcing stuff. So CCIA, okay. I'm the new chairman. Help me. I'm looking for a replacement. This Thursday, the 21st, Todd Garrison is going to be there. He's running for sheriff in Doña Ana County, and also Ben Luna. He's District
Oh,
53,
cool.
right?
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ben's a great guy. I don't know Todd Garrison enough. He does have experience, so I'm anxious to hear what he has to say. And I do want to also say that my nephew, if you go to my site, oh man, okay, I probably have it here. I think I have it in a picture. My nephew, Zach Beasley, okay, they are state champions. Did you see that on
No,
my
I did
site?
not.
Yeah. I'm so proud of them. These guys, we don't pay enough attention sometimes to all the sports, and the parents, thank God the parents too. But they did a good job. I'll just mention it real quick. It's the Mesilla Valley Christian Baseball. They defeated the Hozho, Hozho, Academy Baseball 22-0. They won the New Mexico AA, NMAA Class 2A State Championship. So these guys, they're awesome. I just salute. I just want to give them a big. You probably played baseball. Did you
Played a lot of baseball growing up.
Yeah. What was your position?
I was center field, first base, and pitcher.
Your pitcher. My
A little bit of
he's my
pitching.
great nephew. He pitches also. I think he plays shortstop. I can't remember his other position. Awesome.
That's awesome. I think youth sports is amazing for character development. It's a good old American pastime, and we need to encourage these kids as much as we can.
Yes, and thank you to the parents that stick there. I know, his dad, David, and his mom, Kimberly, they really work hard. And I understand that he was being interviewed by the Bulletin, which is the local newspaper here. So look for that article, probably come out this week, I hope, on Thursday. Okay, that's enough bragging, because I can't really brag. I didn't do anything, but he's a good baseball player.
Beeses were big sponsors of the show,
Probably
and so we want to thank them for everything they do. They do a lot for the community. I ran into them at some big time political meetings recently. Great guys, great human beings, and just have a lot of respect and adoration for their family and for everything that they do for the community. So it's yeah. Hey, look, this world is a lot smaller than you would ever imagine, guys. I'm hanging out with people at the top, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to get to this other point where it's like, if you really want to start seeing change in the community, you got to get involved. You got to do something. Maybe it's not get involved with the Republican Party. Maybe it is. Maybe it's get involved with the CCIA. Maybe it isn't. Maybe if you're a Democrat and you don't like the way things are going, maybe you got to get involved with the Democrat Party and do what you can to get things going in the direction that you want it to go. But you'd be blown away about how one person can make so much change and how important it is. And that's been kind of the recurring theme with the news that I listen to. It's like, look, we need more people to get involved. People are criticizing President Trump at a high level. He's got the lowest poll ratings, in world, in recorded history almost. He's at the very bottom, and because the economy, there's a lot of things going on.
Well, let me ask you real quick about that, because I think the Rasmussen that I saw last was 42%, which is very, very low. And then just yesterday, someone was saying 36%. Now, I trust Rasmussen.
Right.
And the polls, I think when I see that, I always put it a few points higher, because it's hard to get accurate polling. I've never been polled. Have you?
I've been pulled a few times.
And
They call me or they text me and I'll answer questions.
is it a legitimate
It's an official
polling
poll.
place?
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you feel comfortable.
Yeah, they call it some
Good.
Middle Eastern guy or someone from like some podunk area here in America, and they'll sit there and ask you political questions for like a half hour. I've done those a few times. I've been texted
Recently?
questionnaires. Yeah, I had one of those a couple months ago. Yep.
Wow. Wow. I've never been called
Yeah.
my whole life.
Yeah.
Wish
Well,
they might have. I just didn't answer the phone.
yeah, and that's the thing is I'll answer the phone randomly if they call me at the right time, I'll answer. But so
True.
yeah, and that's the thing is I hear from reputable sources that the polling for Trump is very, very low. But then I talk to people, and and people love him. People love the guy. I'm still a big supporter of President Trump, even though I don't agree with everything that's going on. Yeah, the gas is really high. The economy could be doing better. Economy's hurting, guys. I'm in marketing. I'm in business, and what I can see is that economy is hurting. There's some businesses that they basically go off of abundance in the economy, and there is no abundance, and they're hurting right now. And so I predict that things are going to start going higher for President Trump in the polls as we get closer to the midterms.
I think you're right.
But the other caveat too is that on procedure alone, we can win. We've already ungerrymandered a bunch of congressional seats, so that could be the reason why President Trump didn't even care about the polling, because on procedure alone we're going to win. And it's just sheer dominance as far as that's concerned. So I don't really know what's going on with that. I'll never relinquish my support for President Trump. He's done so much for me. He's done so much for New Mexico. He's continued to do much for us here in New Mexico as far as voter integrity is concerned and stuff. That I'll always support him, and I'll criticize him when he's doing bad. But overall, I might as well get a Trump tattoo on my forehead because I'm very loyal. I'm a loyalist. I will always be loyal to President Trump.
And remember, this is from a guy that unafraid to criticize either, because we're critical. We don't always agree with everything that one politician or one leader does, and that's okay. This is America, and you can do that. But as you say, there's so much stuff, and this guy's going to be 80, right? Isn't he turning 80 or 70?
I don't even know. I figured he's 81 or something
And
like that.
and I think I've told you this before, but my laptop, for whatever reason, when it comes up and you go online, it's an MSN site. And always, the first story is, oh, President Trump, did you see? He fell asleep, or he did this and did that. And there's always an explanation for how they get that story, but they're just going after him. And I'm thinking, if you want to go after him, at least do something more hardcore. They never did that with the Biden administration, not one time. So it's hard to believe that. So I'm just he's everywhere. He just went to China. I can't keep up with him. I don't know. He does it now. Of course, he's got people that take care of him and things like that. But still, to always be on the alert, to be able to turn around and take questions. Somebody's walking and he's still paying attention to him. I don't think I could even keep up the pace that he does. It's amazing. It's truly amazing.
Yeah, it seems like they have a strategy of just kind of like a shock and awe kind of a thing. He's doing so much. Like I still don't really agree at all with what's going on over there in Israel. I don't hate Jewish people. In fact, Jewish people are some of the most awesome people I've ever met. And the reality is the majority of people in Israel don't agree with the war either. I think it's like 70%. I think Netanyahu has like a 70-80% disapproval rate. I mean, people don't like the guy. So, but aside from that, like he's going after the election integrity. I think what state did he just sue?
Important.
It was like 500,000 ballots. They found, that were just, it was somewhere on the East Coast. But basically, he's basically saying that with mail-in ballots and the way the system is now, there's no way Republicans can win. And so he's already starting this stuff. And imagine if they came to New Mexico and investigated us. Guarantee, we've had such horrible elections here for so long. I'm sick of it. New Mexico's sick of it. And we just want fair elections. If President, no matter what you say about President Trump, he can screw up, he can do whatever. If he gets us the SAVE Act, if he gets us fair elections, all of it will be worth it. All of it will be worth
And
it.
remember, to me, the very big thing that he's done is actually gone after the border. And that is such a big issue. Can you imagine if we still had things going on like we did in the Biden administration? And they're still finding things. And I try to do this as much as possible. There is on Facebook, I think it's a group page, Illegal Alien Report, it's U.S. Illegal Alien Report. And they still keep up with, there's still so many arrests and things going on because there's still a lot of these bad guys in our country, unfortunately. And we've got to go after them and take care of them. And it's going to be like that for a long time. There's just too many people that were let in here. And I just saw a story also, is it El Paso County, right? In El Paso, I think it is. So the county sheriff has to help. They're in Texas. They've got to cooperate with the feds, with ICE, to try to get these bad guys. And they were saying, and I guess it's reasonable, I don't know if it was a sheriff or the spokesperson, was saying on the report that it's a lot of money to do this. They don't have the resources. And I agree with that. I'm sure they do. But at the same time, we're all trying to go after the bad guys. So it's all about law enforcement. So a lot of elements to that story, but it's complicated, and I think we can't forget that. But the election integrity is so important. It is so important, and I'm still so uncomfortable to go and vote and not have to show my ID. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, look, we learned a long time ago that if you weren't born from this country, you have a higher propensity to betray this country. You know, it's like it's just what it is. If these people aren't from here, they shouldn't be voting here because here's the thing: there's obviously an agenda to bring people in here and they have them vote, have them come from other countries, third world countries that were collapsed by these same people. You know, the people who orchestrated the lockdowns collapsed the third world. They ship them up here. They say, "Hey, vote for me, and we'll give you a bunch of cash and prizes," which they did, and that's just not going to be serving American interests. Look, we barely have a control of our government. I think it's mostly a facade. I think foreign interests have been controlling our country for a very long time, and they have to keep up the facade that we have, some control over it, just so they can still do what they want to do on the back end. And luckily we were able to get President Trump in there. But guys, if you just look, President Trump is dealing with massive amounts of mutiny. He doesn't have control of the DOJ barely. He doesn't have control of foreign policy all that well either. And a lot of that's because not because President Trump sold us out, but that's what President Trump fell into. That's what we got him in there to try to fix. But when you've got 30 years, I mean, look at us right now. We've got President Trump in there. We're trying to fight to keep our people in there, to keep it long standing so we can fight for America for as long as we can. Well, these guys have had power on the opposite side of us for 30, 40 years.
It's been entrenched
How long have they been trying to fight?
Eisenhower.
Since Eisenhower, to keep their people in there, to keep their agendas going.
What did Eisenhower call it? The military complex?
Military industrial complex. That's right. That's exactly right. And so he's fighting the military industrial complex among other things. And I think he's done a pretty damn good job considering all that he has to put up with. It's amazing they haven't killed him yet, which they keep trying to kill him.
It's not like they haven't been trying. That's right.
So I love President Trump. I love this country. I love New Mexico, and I love life. I'm not suicidal, not at all.
You have to say that.
No.
Not suicidal. We want to live as long as we can to be a pain in the butt.
I mean, I'm going head to head with some pretty hardcore people, guys. I mean, just straight up on the back end, I am, and I don't care. I'm going to do what I think is right. Nobody pays me. I pay myself with my own company, and they've come after my company before already. They've been doing it again. It ain't working. But I'm going to keep telling the truth and fighting for what I think is right. That's it. That's it. What you got there? It looks like you got some Vasquez stuff going on over there.
I got some Vasquez. I thought I had another story as well, too. So Greg Cunningham is running against
Great
Gabe
guy.
Vasquez.
Great guy.
Yeah, and he's a great guy, endorsed by Yvette Harrell.
Yvette Harrell's awesome. That's right.
Yvette Harrell's awesome. I think she really won the last election, and that's so.
She won 2 of the 3 elections she was in. Straight
So
up.
evidently now, and this is how you know that the left, the Democrat, I'll say the radical far left Democrats, know they're in trouble. Far left anti-cop, this is from Pinon Post. And if you're not following those guys, please do. They send you an email with their updated stories. They cover New Mexico politics very, very well. Far left anti-cop Democrat U.S. Rep. Gabe Vasquez attempting to rebrand himself as a champion of law enforcement because he's going up against Greg Cunningham. Greg Cunningham is a Marine combat veteran and retired Albuquerque police detective. But if you recall, and this is what I like, they have a picture and he's got his little mask on.
His Antifa mask.
Yeah, and the video, okay, I think I hadn't even moved back at this point, but the video, he's clearly not a big supporter of local police, right? You remember the video that went viral on that.
Which is weird to me.
But Vasquez's latest pro-police messaging is already drawing scrutiny. And he says, send a guest column published in Las Cruces Sun News, that's our local newspaper here. Police officers deserve our thanks, support, and funding. I mean, I don't know when he's ever said that before, but he claimed he recently met with officers at the Carlsbad Police Department to discuss police safety. So he's making a big attempt, and good for him, because I want him to work with police officers. I want our police to be supported. But, further claimed he's turned officer feedback into over $3 million into direct investments in New Mexico's public safety. So, but the timing, again, it's all about, all of a sudden, here comes, now this is only the primary, and is he being challenged in his primary? Probably not.
No.
He's not. And I don't think Greg really is either, right?
No, that guy Orozco stepped down.
So that's right, Orozco stepped down. So it's going to be just the both of them in the general. So he's not wasting any time. But the dude he's not a big friend of ICE. So an NRCC statement accused Vasquez of having, quote, a long history of slandering law enforcement, which he has. I mean, he has. All you got to do, go back, do some, research, and there's going to be there's plenty of ammo. I think that the Republican Party, the conservatives, we have plenty of ammo to use in what these candidates have said in the past, what they've done, their voting records. I think maybe some of our ability to be better shooters, aim better, and use all that ammo, it's what we have to focus on. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just bizarre to me for any politician to be anti-law enforcement. I mean, there's just a massive correlation between crime and the economy, and crime and prosperity. And look no further than President Bukele out there in El Salvador. As soon as he cleaned up the crime, the economy boomed, it skyrocketed. And so for any politician to be anti-law enforcement is just really a smack in the face to what they're supposed to be doing there as elected officials to better our economy, better our communities. And so when I see him out there being Antifa, anti-cop, it's a wild thing for me to see. It's obviously he's fallen to the propaganda. Maybe listening a little too much to Eazy-E and NWA. I don't know. It's very destructive mentality. And then all of a sudden you see now he's pro law enforcement slightly, right? And it's
He's
yeah.
trying to be, and how is that going to work? Because, I haven't been back for but a few years, and maybe he can fool some people that haven't been here and don't have the experience. But he's been pretty vocal about where he stands.
Well, it's too little, too late, in my opinion. And Democrats have not. And granted, there are some Democrats out there that are pro law enforcement that do try to help law enforcement. We have some here in Las Cruces, but they're so far few between. And usually, the Democrat Party will go after these people right away. So yeah, he's just trying to salvage his candidacy. He's been there for what, 3 terms now? 2 terms? 2 terms.
Two, I think.
Yeah, he's going on his third. So he needs one more term to get his retirement pension, and it's going to be tough.
Only 3 terms?
Yeah, 3 terms, and you get a pension.
And it's not little.
No, it's not little. So he really needs his third run.
Oh, that's why he's running super hard. That's true.
Yeah, and I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. The money's been drying up. USAID got wiped out. Greg Cunningham he's just a badass. You don't get any. He talk about pro law enforcement. The guy's a retired Albuquerque police.
I am so excited to see a debate, to see a foreman. Do you think he'll debate him? Because, sometimes the Democrats are like, oh, no, I'm not going to.
No, I don't think so. Because Vasquez isn't the strongest public speaker either. He does okay.
Do you think he'll weenie out?
If I was him, I would. If I was advising his campaign, I'd say, avoid the debates at all costs because it just doesn't look good. The contrast is too strong between this really, because Greg Cunningham has a big dude. I think he's like 6'5", 6'4", muscular guy. Was a former undercover narcotics, former Marine. He just looks like a badass. And then it's going to be standing next to this guy, Gabe Vasquez, who just, he just seems like he doesn't seem very masculine. I'll just say that.
Well,
and so I don't think they want that optically. They don't want that optically, but maybe they do. I'm not his campaign manager.
For me, when I see it, and living in Arizona, there were so many times, and the Democrat would, oh, I'm not going to participate in the form. That always just, well, if you're running, why wouldn't you want to debate your candidate? Because you know that it's not good for you. You know that you probably can't handle it. And so that always, whenever they refuse to do it, and unless they have a relative that's died or something like that particular night, to me that's a big minus on their side. And I don't understand why somebody could say, well, they shouldn't. No, do it. That's a good part of your job. If you get elected, that's going to be nothing. A debate or a forum is going to be nothing because you're going to be out there representing your whole state, or in this case, okay, it would be a representative for New Mexico. But really think about this, those of you who are listening in other states, they represent the United States. So if you want to help any candidate, even in another state, because you think they've got a really good chance and they will represent you well in Congress, there's a vote. That's a vote that you can help get. People forget about that. And of course, I'm Republican, very Republican pro, but I think we forget about that, and we shouldn't.
Well, I remember a time, I was taking out the Yvette Herald, she's running against Gabe. I think it was the first time around, and she wouldn't debate him on one of the news channels because, and I went back and forth with her on it because I kind of disagree with it. Once she went over her reasoning, I agree. So there's instances where Republicans shouldn't
What
debate
was
because
her? I'm
it
curious.
was it was a far left news organization. They were going to attack her, and the optics were not going to look good because it was in Albuquerque, and so it would have just
Well,
the
I
optics were not going to
understand
be
that
good.
she
Yeah.
was going to get massacred. It
She was
wasn't
going to
going to
get
be a fair
massacred.
one. Okay, well, I'll give some of that. Okay, when you know that that's going to happen,
Yeah.
but hopefully you are somewhere where they're going to be more reasonable. Like it's always nice when you have two moderators and they're from different sides of the aisle, or just one who can be completely neutral and ask neutral questions.
So I imagine Gabe will probably turn down some interviews, but they're going to pin him in a hole. They're going to put him in a corner eventually. He's going to have to debate Greg eventually. He can't go the whole
Yeah,
campaign without one debate. Like he's going to have to debate him
and
eventually.
I would still, even if it were, he should be strong enough just to do it, and just do it. At this point, I don't know. I really would like. I hope that there is a debate and it happens. I really do.
I do too. I do too.
That'd be good. Now, uh, talked about gubernatorial, talked about New Mexico stuff. Locally here in Las Cruces, I know there was a city council meeting last night. I didn't. Did you get to hear it or anything?
No, I didn't. I didn't keep up with it. No.
Okay. Well, I think Juan Garcia, former chairman of CCIA, he went. He always goes and represents. So I'll try to go see what videos appear and what they talked about. But here, our city council. I have hope. I still have hope. I want to start going, at least attending. And I want to remind you too, if you can't go, it's hard to go to these things, I know. But you can watch them or go back on their site and they've got archived files. You can go and watch the whole thing or just watch the part if you're interested in public comment. There is tonight, is it? Yeah, tonight is a school board meeting. So I don't know, you probably won't get it uploaded in time, I understand. And thank you to, Zeke does such a great job. He does all the technical stuff. I don't, I'm really dumb technical wise. I don't want to screw it up. So it might be too late, but you could go back and watch the school board also does their meetings that way too. So I encourage you. And a local city like this, like when you live in Phoenix, anywhere you drive, it's a half hour, 45 minutes, you got to go and things are, it's hard to get to. But here in Little Las Cruces, especially if you're retired, you can go, anything's 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most to go and attend. So I encourage you to do that. I really do. And if you have time, of course.
Yeah, it's just you see it. You go to city council meetings, county commission meetings. It's like it's so powerful for you guys to get involved. Even if you're showing up and saying your piece, it does start to push things in certain directions. And shout out to Angela Garcia. I'm not as far right as people think. I'm actually I try to be a moderate in most situations because I try to bring people together. I try to find common ground. Like she was a girl. I grew up with her. And we got in a big argument. She's a big time Democrat. Big arguments on Facebook and social media. And I would criticize them like, look, if you're going to be this into politics and you're going to have these opinions and you're going to try to chastise me publicly, you need to get involved in politics. You need to run for office because at the end of the day, me and you going back and forth, it's not going to do nothing. If you care that much, you need to get involved. And she did. Shout out to her.
Is she running
She's
right
running
now?
for county commission right now. Her opponent was just endorsed by Bernie Sanders. And they're just not giving her any love. She was endorsed by our current lieutenant governor, by a bunch of amazing local politicians on the Democrat side, and they didn't cover it at all. But when Bernie Sanders, endorses her opponents everywhere, I just saw it this morning. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to give her some credit because even though we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, as an American and as a human being, I respect the fact that she did what she could to get involved and run for office. That is what we need right there. I don't care if you're on the Republican side or Democrat. Hey, if you're someone who dedicate yourself to serve this community, I got so much respect for you. We can argue about issues and this and that, but at the end of the day, I've got tremendous respect for your ability and willingness to get out there and actually defend your community. Boom.
Do
That's
you
it.
know what
Period.
district she's running in?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't keep up with too much. I know whoever wins that primary is going to go against Barncastle, Samantha
Oh,
Barncastle.
okay.
So I think that's 6. I think it's District 6.
I don't want to say the wrong
I don't
number,
know either. I don't quote me
but
on that.
it sounds like that would be an interest. Who's Angela's opponent? A Democrat?
She's Muslim. I don't know her name.
Oh, I think I saw
She
that.
she was the co-host of the radio show with
Oh.
with
With our buddy.
yeah, what's his name? Goodman.
Goodman?
Peter Goodman. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so she's cool. I've talked to her before, but she's a radical. She's a radical lefty. I don't care that she's a Muslim. I have a lot of really cool Muslim friends. Honestly, I really do. So that doesn't really bother me, But that's just what it is. She wears her hijab, and she was endorsed by Bernie Sanders, and that's that's okay, I guess, you know. And I just think it's funny how the Democrats can pick and choose who they want to favor. They're not giving Angela, who's been endorsed by heavy hitting Democrats, give her no love, and they give this girl all the love in the world. So, you know, politics is a very funny thing. But again, shout out to Angela for just getting the
Yeah.
courage to step up and run for office. I think that's
I give
awesome.
her points running for office. And I always say this, I know I've been saying this for the 10 years we've been doing this show since we started in Arizona. If you can't run for office, work on a campaign or just volunteer, even if you do something as little as make phone calls or talk to people about it. Because, and if you get involved a little bit in the campaign, there is so much work that goes into it. You've run for office, I've run, thank God I won, but I had a great team and a lot of help. And there are so many elements to it, you know. And shout out to our candidates. I just had a conversation with Isabella Solis, who's running for state representative District 37. She's a fantastic candidate. You know, she goes to the forums, and she's just like, you're always, it's like almost a 24-hour job, man, because you have to raise money, you have to keep up with your campaign, and at least she's not opposed for the primary, so get in there. But there's a lot of good people. We have a lot of good Republicans running, I think. I think we have a lot of good
Oh, it's an
Republicans.
amazing slate of candidates this year. It's just a very interesting time to be involved in politics right now. I absolutely love it. I've been doing a lot for a lot of candidates, and I like it. I love doing this stuff, and I'm not sorry that I'm pissing off a bunch of liberals. I'm actually doing my best to be more moderate. I'm trying to be more inclusive. I think we have a lot more in common than what you guys want to admit or what you've been conditioned to admit. And I hope eventually you can see that about me and Alice here, that we're not hateful people. You know, we're not.
That's too much energy to hate.
No, you know, it's not who we are. You know, we're
I don't
not.
have time. Do you have time? I don't
Nah, I don't have time for that stuff. I got enough problems. So, either way, you know, it's an honor to be here, guys. Again, please like this post, share this post. We're getting a lot of
subscribe.
subscribe. We're getting a lot of attention right now. For whatever reason, you know, YouTube's just favoring us right now.
Thank you.
Whatever, whatever. But you know, thank you guys.
Big
Where are we at with the
gracias.
clock?
Big gracias. I think we're just about
Yeah, we're just about
ready
ready.
to wrap it up. Is there anything that you wanted to cover that we haven't covered? Do we make all our announcements? You know, I'll just say, Las Cruces, I was thinking about this the other day. Las Cruces, okay, that's the crosses. We are a city of the crosses. I run into people all the time. I haven't seen them in years, reconnect or do things like that. This community is still a wonderful community, and it's worth saving. Our whole state is worth saving. The whole country is worth saving. We start on a local level like this, and who knows who you're going to talk to and what kind of an impact you're going to have, as you were talking about earlier.
That's right. That's right. So get involved with CCIA, Coalition Conservatives in
Thursday,
Action.
6 p.m.
She is the
Station
new
Pass.
leader. The new leader. Get involved with your party, Democrat, Republican. I don't care. Just get involved. And we'll do a quick prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for again giving us opportunity to speak to the community and for an opportunity to bring people together for you, Lord, and for our community and for our state, for our country, Lord. I just pray that you continue to guide us and show us that what we need to do to best serve you and best serve our fellow human beings, our fellow man. And I just pray for everyone out there that needs protection, all the lost souls, all the children that need your help, Lord. I pray that you find a way in their heart. And I pray that you find a way into the heart of our enemies that are wishing bad upon us. We don't wish bad upon them, Lord. We just pray that you find a way in their heart and that one day that they see the light. And we're just grateful to be alive, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Well done. Thank you. Have a
Thank you,
great
guys.
rest of the week. Enjoy, and thank you for listening, watching the Chips and Salsa Show, Nuevo Mexico.